Hey students, and welcome to the East Lothian Guitar Lessons mini lesson number 2 on Eric Johnson's style chords. Again, this isn't a comprehensive overview of how Eric Johnson does things. This is just a sort of simplified way where you can start to get that kind of sound that Eric Johnson gets, that wonderful open sound that his clean playing that he gets from that, from his chiming chords, which are really very unique. And there are many ways that he constructs that stuff, which we'll get into in future lessons. This really is just about trying to get you a little bit of the way there with some simple ideas. And if you missed the last lesson, part 1, then the link is in the description below and you can go and check that out. And that's basically how to start to create some chords with your root on the E string in the key of A major. What we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to start creating chords with the root on the A string. Okay, so that will give you a couple of things. We'll get into the details of that at the end of the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the East Lothian Guitar Lessons YouTube channel. That really would help me out a lot. And hit the bell so that you get the notifications when all the new videos come up. I would really appreciate that a lot. Okay, so let's get started then. And we're going to go onto the A string right here. And we're going to create, first thing we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to talk a little bit about how he creates his chords. So what Eric Johnson does really, really well is he uses very, very open voicings. So what that means is that the distance between the notes is quite far. Now that doesn't mean that they're physically far on the guitar. What it means is that they are theoretically and sonically quite far. So what are you talking about, Chris? What does that mean? Basically, instead of playing a third, where he would play, let's see, let's take the key of A. We're going to go here, 1, that's my open string, 2, 3. Instead of playing that third there, he would move that up an octave and play it as a 10th. So it's an octave away, and that is part of what gives these chords such a huge open sound, is that the intervals are very far away from each other. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is you want to learn how to lay out a major scale, in this case the A major scale, just on one string. So what I'm going to do just now is I'm going to play that A major scale for you, okay, and map it out on the A string, all right? So there's our A major scale mapped out on the A string up to 1 octave, so that's up to the 12th fret. First, spend some time getting that down. Remember, happy practicing. Practicing obviously is key to getting better on the guitar. And secondly, what we're going to do now is add in the third. Now the third is one of the most important notes in the chord because it defines whether the chord is major or minor. And what we're going to do is we're going to chuck that third up an octave and play it as a 10th. Now that sounds exotic, but actually if you're playing bar chords, you're doing that already, okay? This is just this is where you would normally play the third in a bar chord. So it's actually not that unusual. It's just that maybe when you are playing a bar chord, you're not thinking in terms of tenths. You're just trying to basically get the bar chord down. And more often than not, most students aren't even bothered about what the intervals in that chord are. They're just trying to get to grips with just playing the physical side of the bar chord, which is understandable. And I think that that's one of the most important things. Knowing all the theory on guitar is useful and really helps you be a better musician. But none of that is of any use if you can't physically play the instrument. So by all means, get your bar chords down and don't worry too much about the theory behind them. But at some point, it's always good to go back and just understand the makeup of the chords, the chord chemistry, check out Ted Green's book on chord chemistry. It'll baffle you. It's an awesome book, maybe not for beginners. But, you know, I kind of got that book when I was like 17 or something, 16 or 17, tried to work my way through it. It's a bit of a Bible of chord playing, but goodness me, is it intense. Anyway, I digress. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to just map out some, sorry, we're going to put in the thirds, the tenths on the same notes that we just played. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there you go. There is harmonizing your root notes with a tenth, a major tenth or a minor tenth, depending on what the quality of the chord is, and that's all in the tab that you can check out at patreon.com. And this is a sort of step one or a step two of getting towards that kind of really nice Eric Johnson sound, but it's not really about that in essence. I mean, it's about, you know, trying to, you know, hip you to playing some different things on the guitar, thinking about chords in a different way. Everyone's always trying to strum through open chords or bar chords, but there's a lot you can do with just intervals and some, you know, some very nice open sounding things. Some of the best sounding chords have three notes in them, and they sound great. It depends on what you do with it. So I hope that's been of help to you. Again, as I said before, all the stuff is in the description below, the links, and links to my Patreon site, links to the part one as well of this lesson. And again, please subscribe. I really appreciate it, and would help me out a lot. And I will see you next time for part 3 of Eric Johnson chord voicings. Take care and happy practicing. Bye bye.